tiny friends, welcome back to TinyKeyHoleMinis. I'm Jolene, and today I will be working on the Josephine house, and I want to create a light for the hallway. And I was thinking about doing another bear bulb light, only this one isn't going to actually light up like the one that I did in the sewing room. If you would like to see how I created that light, since it does light up, I will put a link in the description box below for that video. But I had this light in my box and I've already taken the shade off. It was a frosted glass tulip shade. And I've taken the light bulb out. And now I'm just going to pull off the wire and the backing to this. There's another little wire inside and I don't want that to interfere with the backing that I'm going to put on this. It's stuck in here really good, but I managed to get it out with my tweezers. So I'm going to put a back plate on this piece as well and make some changes to it. Now I've done a similar technique to this for the light that's next to the closet door in the sewing room, but this will be a little bit different. I'm going to use this piece of copper wire to create the light bulb on. So before I actually create that, I want to take my needle nose pliers and just kind of crinkle up the tip of the wire just to give it more of an interesting look, because you'll be able to see it inside the bulb. So I'm just kind of like bending it and kind of just giving it more of an interesting shape. So once I get a shape that I'm happy with, I can now begin to create the bulb, and I'm going to use hot glue for this. So to begin with, I'm just going to tip the wire downward, and I'm just going to put a nice amount of the glue on it and let it drip facing downward. And as it's slowly moving down, I'm just going to begin to turn the wire around to kind of manipulate the way it's going and create the shape that I would like. Now, this time it took me about 4 tries, but the first time I did this, it must have been a fluke because I did it in 1 try. And it was a good thing because I was using a chip light. But if you're making a non-functional light with a piece of wire and you don't like it, the good thing is you could just peel it off when it dries and start all over again. So you just kind of want to roll it around and move it up and down and kind of spin it around to shape the form of the light bulb. Eventually it'll slow down and then just stop moving and begin to dry. I'm using a pretty clear hot glue, so when it dries pretty clear. But if I end up touching this too much, it could cause the glue to become cloudy. So I try to avoid doing that as much as possible. And it's the same way that I created the bear bulb that's on the ceiling in the sewing room. Only that one lights up, this one will not. And I'll be using the same technique for this one that I used for the non-working light that sits next to the closet in the sewing room. So I'm taking like 2 techniques and creating 1 light, and both of those lights are in the sewing room. So this one's looking pretty good. I think I finally got it. Like I said before, it took probably like 4 times for this one, but don't despair. Don't get discouraged. If you really want to try this, it's okay. Just keep practicing at it or keep going until you get something that you like, because like I said, this took me about 4 times this time, and I didn't think I was going to get it. But if you just keep that, if you keep your piece held down, facing downward, and just keep rotating as the glue is moving to kind of manipulate it to the shape that you want, you'll get it. When the glue starts to drip too far down, that's when you want to tip it up. Let the glue start dripping down the opposite way. You do have to work pretty quickly in the beginning while the glue is still hot and moves a little quicker, but you're manipulating the way that the glue is moving. So you're kind of directing it and you're in control of where the glue is going to go. Just keep rotating it. Either you're facing up, facing down, you just want to keep rotating it. And then don't touch it, let it dry completely so that you don't ruin your shape. I'm just going to snip off some of this excess wire and then give it a dry fit to make sure that it looks okay inside the plug, or whatever you want to call this, the outlet, or you know what I'm talking about, the base, inside the base. So if you can see, there's kind of like a bar that extends outward. And if I want to put this on the wall facing horizontally, that's going to be sticking out too far. So I think I'm just going to clip that piece right off. Okay, moving on to the back plate, I have these laser cut keys that I purchased from the Dollar Tree, and I think I'm going to use one of these for the back plate. I like this design, and the bottom part's a little broken, but I think it'll look good as a back plate. It's a little decorative, and I think it's going to work out. So I like the way that looks. I'm just going to cut it down. And yeah, that's going to be a good piece to use. You can use any decorative piece. And when I created the first light this way, I showed a couple different options that you can use, but you can use any kind of decorative piece will be really good for this. If you don't have a base, you can use these bead spacers. These ones were given to me by my really good friend Shira from Queen City Minis. She sent me a whole box of bits and bobs. Shira, thank you so much for that. And I was looking at these and thought these would make a great base for a light bulb. Some of these are really neat. So if you don't have a base to use from a previous light, you can create one as well out of different things. So I'm just giving you ideas and a little bit of inspiration in case you don't have a piece that you can go with from a previous light. You can create your own. You can use buttons. You can use puffy stickers. You can use decorative cutouts. You can use jewelry pieces, picture frames. You can use clay. So there's several different things that you can use to create your bases, to create your back plates, and then you just put them all together to create one whole piece. So I've cut this one down, and I just taken that bar right out, and now I'm just going to file down the two pieces that were cut just to get rid of that pointy, sharp end and make them a little more flatter. Okay, I'm just going to use a little bit of my Loctite super glue, put a little dab on the top piece, and secure it to the bottom piece. And now I have a shorter base. So if I choose to put it on the wall facing horizontally, it's not going to stick out too far and look unnatural. I went ahead and glued the base down to the back plate, and now I have this piece of wire that I'm going to use some acrylic and Mod Podge mixed together. This is my black acrylic and Mod Podge, and I keep it in a container. But I like to coat the wire with it because then it gives it that rubberish kind of coating and makes it look more like a cord, an old cord. So I'm going to give it 2 coats of this. I'm going to let each coat dry in between. I like to add these little wires to the non-functioning lights just to add more detail and give a little more realism to them. For my light base, I'm going to use my black chalk paint, and a lot of times the chalk paint will get super thick if it's sitting in the bottle over time. You could just add a little bit of water to it and it comes right back to life. It doesn't really affect the way that it dries or the way that it's applied. Okay, so once this piece is dry, I'm going to go in with my antique gold rub and buff. And I like to use several different metallics for this. Sometimes I use my antique metallic gold. Sometimes I use my metallic antique copper. Sometimes I'll use a silver. But I'm going to try the rub and buff with the stamping method because normally I'll apply it with a brush or a tissue or a Q-tip or something. So I want to see how it works with the stamp. So I just put a really light amount on and I'm just stamping around the whole base. This technique pretty much works the same with any base color you use and then any top color that you apply to it. Whether you're using brown base, whether you're using a silver top, it just really makes it look sort of like some sort of metal piece. So this is what it looks like. And you can combine any base color with any top metallic color and create any type of metal piece that you would like. But I really like how it came out. So for the wire, now that that's dry, I gave it 2 coats and I'm going to go in with the antique copper for this. This is another piece that you can use different metallics to create an old cord. Lots of times they're different colors, but for this time I'm going to go with the copper. Sometimes I use a gold, sometimes I use a brown, sometimes I use a yellowish color. But I'm going to go with the copper to create that old looking cord, that old wire cord that are attached to lights. Okay, while that's drying, I'm going to apply a little bit of the super glue inside the base and then glue the light bulb into place. Okay, so my light is pretty much done and I do like the shorter base because if I decide to stick it on the wall instead of the ceiling, Miss Margot won't be bumping her head on it every time she walks by it. Okay, my light wire is dried and I was thinking about adding another tone to it. So I think I'm going to add a little bit of rub and buff. It would go on the wall like this, going up to the ceiling if I place the light on the wall. And I thought it might look good with an additional color or tone. So I'm going to take a little bit of the rub and buff and put a tiny bit on the paper towel. And then I'm going to dab it really good. And now I'm just going to take it and rub it right along the wire. So now the wire looks like it's gold with a hint of copper. And different parts of it you can see are darker with hints of black. So I really like how it looks. And now I'm going to take it into the hallway. Okie dokie, tiny friends. I really thought I knew where I was going to put this light until I started playing around with it, and I put it up on the ceiling, and I really like the way it looks on the ceiling. Now, originally I was going to put it on this wall here and then have the wire going up the ceiling, up the wall to the ceiling, and it was kind of going to be like this concept. So this light here next to the closet with the wire going up, this was the idea I was going with until I started playing around with it. So here's the wire, and if I put it on the wall, it'll go up the wall to the ceiling, like so. But once I put it on the ceiling, I got stuck because I really like the way that looks. Okay, I'm really going to need your help with this one, tiny friends, because it just got worse. So, I don't know why I did this, but I decided to put it on the new wall, on the portrait wall over here. And oh my gosh, I love the way that it looks over there. And then I would run the wire going up this wall. I'm going to need your help with this one. So, I'm not going to install the light yet. I need to know where I should put this. So, if you guys could help me out in the comments, let me know, do you think I should put it on the portrait wall here? Do you think I should put it on the ceiling? Or do you think I should go with my original idea over on the telephone wall? Or are you thinking I should put it somewhere else entirely? So if you guys could just help me out and let me know in the comments below which wall you like better or where it should be placed. I still want to add a pull chain. But since I don't know where it's going to go yet, I'm going to wait and I'll add that right before I install it. And then, of course, top choice will win, and I'll just go with the majority. So there's 3 options, and I really like them all. But, gosh, that portrait wall, it looked really good on that wall, right? It also looked really good on the ceiling. I'm so stuck. Okay. If anyone comes up with any other ideas, please throw them out there. Let me know. I hope you enjoyed this video today. And if you have, please give it a thumbs up and click that like button. Or maybe you'll want to give this technique a try if you're in need of some decorative lights that don't need to work. I thought this was a great little technique and a nice way to create some unique lights for your dollhouses or miniature scenes. I still need to put up the stair railing and banister. And when I come back, I'll be doing some things to age this wall with the wallpaper. I'll probably age the back wall with the window as well. And just show you a technique that I came up with to add some detail for aging where this wallpaper is peeling right here. And then I need to start working on creating Miss Margot's family portraits for the portrait wall. And I also want to create a couple of antique photo albums. Oh my gosh, I am dying to create some of those. So stay tuned for that as well. As always, thank you all for subscribing and welcome to all my new subscribers. Thank you so much for joining my miniature journey. I love that we're able to share our journeys with each other, that we're learning from each other, that we're inspiring each other. This is such a wonderful place to be, and it is truly my pleasure to share with you all what I am doing and what I am learning. And I love learning from you all as well. So until next time, tiny friends, I hope you all have a lovely day, and I will see you all on the mini side. Bye-bye.